What's up guys, I'm Phoenix Master 1 and welcome back for some more Fire Emblem Heroes, and today I'm going to be taking a look at Galle, the latest Grand Tour Battle unit that we have got in the game, and I'm going to be reviewing him, giving you guys builds for him, and also going to be going over if it's worth spending your Heroic Grails on him or not. So with that said, I hope you guys do enjoy and let us begin.
I will crush you.
Galle is a Lance Flyer with 172 BST, and Lance Flyer in general is a very competitive class type. He unfortunately does not come with a preferred weapon, instead he comes with Inheritable Guard Lance Plus. Previously this weapon was locked to 5-star Fiora, but now it's available in the Grail pool, and this is a pretty nice defensive option, so that's a great thing. And other than that, he doesn't really have anything impressive about his base kit. Ares already has Brazen Attack Defense, and we already got Odd Attack Wave on like Spring Batra before, so there are no new skills here to be found, which is really sad. As for his own stat spread, he does have a pretty high attack stat of 38 and does have pretty nice bulk and has really low speed, which is gonna be his dumb stat. You could actually compare him to Ashnard because they're just so similar stat wise, but of course Ashnard is way better. He's a sword flyer, does not have the same amount of competition, and of course has a preferred weapon which is just so consistent. And Ashnard doesn't really have to run IO Shield because it is built into his weapon. Obviously Galle is nowhere near as good as Ashnard, but it's just funny seeing that we just got a Lance version of Ashnard who doesn't have a preferred weapon. Now to the actual comparison in the same class type, we've got Trevant and Altena. So he's basically a Gen 5 Trevant, if anything else, because Trevant doesn't really have much resistance. Galle on the other hand does have the resistance, which does make him a better tank. And Galle is a bit more min-maxed. Altena on the other hand is present in the normal pool, doesn't take Heroic Grails, but she doesn't really have resistance for tanking stuff and also has a preferred weapon in Earthly Gabolg. But if you want to run something similar, then you could run Flowing Lance on Galle and pretty much get the same effect, but Altena doesn't really take any kind of Heroic Grails or trade fruit. Trevant and Altena can have more Dragon Flowers, but at the cost of not having as much defense as them, Galle is basically going to be having more resistance. We also got a new Lance Flyer in the 3-star 4-star pool in Seteth, and Seteth is a really good Lance Flyer with a preferred weapon Spear of Asil. So Seteth does not have the bulk similar to Galle, but he has got Spear of Asil, which is a preferred weapon giving him extra speed, and it has got Joint Drive Attack and Joint Drive Speed built into it, and also has Dull Attack Speed, so he can just neutralize the visible buffs of foes to their attack and speed, which is a really powerful thing. And Seteth can also work as a support unit, as an offensive unit, and even as a tank. He doesn't really have the same bulk, but his speed can basically add to his bulk by not getting doubled in a sense. So Seteth definitely is a pretty strong competition in general for any kind of Lance Flyer now, because he's such a good option and so versatile with that preferred weapon. So Seteth does not take any kind of Heroic Grails and no trade fruits. At max investment, Seteth can definitely hit harder and he's going to be really fast because of Spear of Asil, again at the cost of not having that much bulk. Quite obviously, Galle isn't really anything too impressive or a very broken unit or anything like that, but he is not a bad unit in my opinion because his stat spread isn't really all that bad. It is rather min-max and kind of similar to Ashnard, so he can function as a tank basically, which a lot of the Lance Flyers can also do, but they're not going to be having as much resistance as Galle, which is really good. And he does have pretty high HP as well, which can help in the newest game mode, Pawns of Loki. So I don't really think that he's a bad unit per se. Sure, not really that impressive, not going to be catching too much attention of many people. Overall, I wish that he came with some better skills for fodder other than Guard Lance, because we have got these skills before on other units, so that would have been pretty fantastic. I think he's overall an alright free-to-play unit. He's not really too impressive, doesn't really bring too much new to the table, and he's not really all that bad because his stat spread is still pretty decent for a tank. And if you want to invest into him, then he will be getting a run, and that will lower the Grail cost. And basically, as I said, compared to other Lance Flyers like Trevant and Altena, he doesn't really have that low of a resistance, so that can basically make him an overall better tank because he can actually battle mages and dragon units. He does have rather min-max stat spread, similar to Ashnard when it comes to his bulk. Now obviously if you like Galle a lot, then there's no reason to not build up your favorite units. You should always try to do that, and Galle does have pretty nice artwork and also really good voice acting. However, if that's not the reason for you building up Galle, then there are definitely some reasons why you may not want to invest into him. First of all, he doesn't really have a preferred weapon, which means that he's not going to be very unique, and he's more prone to getting power crept by a shiny new Lance Flyer in future. Kinda like how he pretty much outclasses Travant in a way. And in future, we might just get a unit who has got more stats than him, who's more optimized, min-maxed, or even has a preferred weapon. So it's pretty easy for a future unit to outclass Galle here because of not having a preferred weapon. The same cannot really happen that easily to someone like Setith, which I showed before. And the other Lance Flyers, present in the normal summoning pool, don't really take any kind of grails or trait fruits like Galle, Setith, Altena. They don't really require that. So their overall cost is a bit lower because Heroic Grails are tough to get, and trait fruits of course do take time to get.
Hesitation betrays you!
I'm always trying to level up my content, just trying to make it better in any way I can. So I'm trying out this new layout, so let me know what you guys think about this. I think this is a pretty nice way to show a lot of the different build options and different skills that you could have on this kind of unit. So I'm still experimenting with this. And if you just want to build up as a budget unit, then you can just run stuff like Steady Stance, Fortress Defense, or any of those defense boosting skill in his slot A, and just defense refine his Guard Lance. Bonfire and Ignis are gonna be the better special compared to Dragonfang that he comes with, and on budget, Quick Riposte is gonna be a really nice thing, and Renewal could also be an option if you're running Quick Riposte as a Sacred Seal. He can of course be used in Arena Assault by having Triangle Adept in slot A and by having Swordbreaker. So because of his high defense, he can definitely take on some of the physical red units in Arena Assault that you might face. And for the Sacred Seal, he could go for another defense and attack stacking seal, or just go for IO Shield. If you want to invest heavily into him, then you do have a lot of options to choose from, especially for his weapon. Guard Lance is still gonna be a nice option, mainly because he's a slow tank, so he's prone to getting doubled, and Guard Lance prevents the special charges of the foes, which is really good. But Quarterly Candle from Dancer Eldigan is also a pretty good option, and it is gonna be giving you like 75% damage reduction if you run it with Guard Bearing. So that could be something that he could run, but he also has other Lance options in Flowing Lance, Slaying Lance, and also Gale Fork and Spirited Spear. If you want to invest heavily into him, then Distant Counter is gonna be the best slotted skill that I could recommend. If you don't want to run Distant Counter, then you can of course run Attack Defense Unity, Fortress Defense Rest, or even the new Close Defense 4. If you're not running Guard Lance, then you could go with a Stance Tier 3 skill, Embracing Stance or Sturdy Stance. Both of those are option. And Guard Bearing is gonna be a pretty nice option for slot B. Flyers don't really have too many slot B options, so it is one of the decent ones. Mystic Boost can help you with a self-sustain, and on the budget, Quick Riposte is of course gonna be a no-brainer for his slot B. Attack Defense Rain from Ninja Leviathan is pretty much the perfect slot C skill. However, if you don't have that, then Attack Smoke is again a pretty nice budget option. Attack Res Oath can be run with something like Spirited Spear if you're running that, so it could activate the weapon and also give him extra attack and resistance. And because he's going to be having higher HP, you could always utilize stuff like Panic Ploy. And for his Sacred Seal, IO Shield is going to be helpful if you're running Quick Riposte in slot B, but if you're running Guard Bearing, then obviously Quick Riposte should be run in the Sacred Seal slot. Galle unfortunately does not have any kind of super boon, so attack or res boon are going to be your two options. I kind of prefer attack boon more. You can of course use him in Arena as well because he can reach 175 BST after the first merge, and his Arena score is going to be 752. However, because he doesn't have a preferred weapon, you will have to run a 300 slotsy skill. Any of the 300 slotsy skills can work, and in slot A, Distant Counter is going to be the best option, but any other 300 SP option can work as well in slot A. Now for his weapon, I feel like Flowing Lance is the best one because Flowing Lance basically has lull attack defense with the solo condition. And in Arena, everyone and their mom has got a rally skill, so ignoring those kinds of buffs of the foes is really amazing. Guard Lance is also not bad because many units are going to be having special accelerating skills there, so Guard Lance is not bad, but I feel like Flowing Lance is really nice, and Flyers don't really have access to lull attack defense, so that could really help you. Unfortunately, IO Shield is a very low scoring Sacred Seal, so he's going to be very susceptible to a lot of archers, which is really sad. He cannot really afford to run IO Shield Sacred Seal if you're trying to have max Arena score. So you could run Guard Bearing in slot B and then just have Quick Riposte. And if you're not running Guard Bearing, then you could have Guidance, which can be really helpful for movement shenanigans, because in Arena you're not going to be having the positional skills, so it's really helpful there. And Panic Plug can also be used because his HP is pretty decent, especially when you have Summoner support, so that could also help. He can actually be used in Aether Raid's offense, unlike a lot of the Lance Flyer tanks, mainly because he actually has a workable resistance stat, so that can mean that he can be a pretty nice tank in Aether Raid's offense. Of course in the light season, because in the Astra season, you're gonna get dunked by Thrusier. He can actually reach 71 HP to avoid any kind of panic manner as of right now, which is really amazing. Guild Fork, in my opinion, is the best weapon for Aether Raid's offense, mainly because it has the attack and defense debuff neutralization, which is really good. And Aether Raid's offense is basically a den of debuffs, so that helps you a lot as a weapon. But you could also use other weapons, like Guard Lance can help you with stuff like Gale Force Eliwoods, and it can have good synergy with Pulse Smoke. Cordless Candle can help you take on the pre-charged specials. The damage reduction can help you with that. Flowing Lance can be useful, but in the higher tiers, no good Aether Raid's defense team is going to be using visible buffs, so it's not going to be helping you that much as it does in Arena. Slaying Lance can be an option with Noontime. Same can be said about Spirited Spear. So you do have a lot of options to choose from, but I feel like Guild Fork is slightly better option, and you really don't have much options for slot A and slot B. You have to run Distant Counter and Quick Riposte, and Pulse Smoke or Attack Smoke are going to be nice for slot C. Iron Shield can be nice for protecting him from common archers, but if you're just going to be using him against teams which don't have archers, then Distant Defense and Mirror Stance are also options. And now time for the bonus segment. So what if Galle was a bit better? So this is what I would do personally if I had the power. I would give him Guidance, which we still don't have in the normal Grail pool, and Quick Riposte 3, which is going to be available at 4-star. So I would have done that and maybe, maximize his resistance a bit more, bringing it to nice 30 and reducing his speed a bit more. So let me know what you think about this, and I hope you guys enjoyed the review of Galle, and make sure to share this video with your friends who are thinking of building him up. And I want to thank all of my YouTube members for their constant support, and if you enjoyed, then please be sure to leave a like and a comment. Helps me tremendously, and be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell, because expecting YouTube sub boxes to work is like expecting intelligent systems to give us new skills on these free units. So that said, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.